Welcome back. Thursday lunchtime. George Bizos being laid to rest today in a special official funeral. He was a globally recognized Greek-South African human rights lawyer who campaigned against apartheid in South Africa, also noted for representing Nelson Mandela during the Rivonia trial. He died at the age of 92, currently on his way from the Greek Orthodox Church in Hillbrow to the West Park Cemetery, where he will be laid to rest. Let's continue our coverage now as I bring in Political Editor Vuyo Mvoko, who has been at the event. And this is what President Ramaphosa said, Vuyo, that he was a man of conscience, a man of principle, a man of commitment, a patriot and a hero. 5 words that sum up George Bizos. It was a poignant and a difficult day, but a day of celebration. You have the Justice Minister with you.
Yes, Jeremy, indeed, a celebration of a life well lived, and half of it on behalf of or for the people of South Africa, a legacy that all South Africans are proud of. But from what we heard from people like the former Deputy Chief Justice Dikgang Moseneke, he died still harboring feelings of disappointment and somewhat resentment at how certain things turned out not quite the way they were meant to. And joining me, as you have just said, is the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Development. Minister, thanks very much for your time. George Bizos, a towering figure who saw a lot, including our very painful past, and he died wishing that things would get a lot better than they are currently. Your takeaways from the various speeches that were made today as people were making tribute.
It's clear that it's an end of an era for a cutting-edge generation. As I've heard from the DCJ, the family and the president saying that a baobab tree has fallen. It's a generation that participated in various engagements before the Constitution, which their engagements and practical confrontation with the apartheid state then shaped what they then inputted into the development of our constitutional democracy. And I think obviously they had expectations that a kind of a constitutional democracy, it might look like what the Freedom Charter had envisaged and what would have been put there as the values. But the lived experience of the past 25 years has shown that we still need to do more as the younger generation, as the Dikgang said, and the family, that there are still outstanding issues that he would have wished to have been handled differently. And I think as a younger generation we have listened, and as a takeaway is that we need to continue the struggle to ensure that the Constitution is defended and is developed for the benefit of the people of this country.
Interesting you say that, because in his opening words at the Farlam inquiry into the Marikana incident, he said he represented the country's constitution. But of course, as we all know, died without seeing justice for the people of Marikana, something that is on your doorstep.
Now, the Constitution is a living document. We all have an obligation and a duty to ensure that we defend and protect it. As you say, that it's something that is on our doorstep. Indeed, there are engagements between the representatives of the families of the Marikana victims and the department, including the state attorney and all the departments that were involved in the Marikana issue, the police involvement. So it's almost at an advanced stage of discussion, which hopefully there will be a conclusion that will be amicable for all the parties involved. And obviously, it has also changed in the manner in which we deal with policing and the various issues in terms of the crowds, in terms of the recommendations of the Farlam commissions, which are being implemented by the South African Police Service, and even our courts from time to time continue to remind us of the obligations to implement those recommendations.
But can we expect a resolution finally anytime soon?
Yeah, I think what I can state is that, as you are aware, it's a two-way issue, and hence I'm not at liberty to really divulge most of the issues. But it's both from the families and and the state in terms of obviously you need expert reports and so forth. I know there is one matter where already all the information needed is there, and there's been a solution that has been found. So I think even with this one, there is good faith from both parties to resolve it as amicable as possible as soon as all the information that is required is available.
Well, let's hope there is indeed, and sooner rather than later. Thank you very much for your time, the Minister of Justice, Jeremy, on an issue that George Bizos died without seeing it resolved. As I was telling him, I mean, something that Tulas was talking about earlier today, that George Bizos went into that commission with high hopes that in a new South Africa with something like that never ought to have happened, hopefully lessons would have been learned and in future justice would prevail. But years down the line, the matter still remains unresolved. The Minister of Justice saying, well, talks are continuing, and he hopes that sooner rather than later there will be a resolution. That's why we're going to leave it, as of course the cortege moves to the cemetery, and that is where our colleague Heidi Jokos is, and she will take it from there as soon as the officials arrive for the last part 3 of George Bizos' farewell. Jeremy?
All right, Vuyo Mvoko, our political editor, thank you very much indeed.